Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Cop Talk. I'm Kevin Schroeder, your host. I'm here with my co-host, Captain Ed Mamet.
Hello, WABC listeners and YouTube viewers. Today we have two guests who love cops and who the cops love.
So today's guest on Cop Talk is PC Richard and Sons. Okay, we have a fifth generation here, Scott Richard.
Thank you.
Along with Joe Morrone, who's been with the family for 30 years, so you're very much part of the family. And PC Richard and family, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yep.
Thank you. So, Scott, I'll start with you. Just give everyone a little bit of your background and your family background. I know you're in business over 100 years, correct?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I mean, I'm Scott Richard, the fifth generation of the Richard family. My dad is, the current president and CEO of the company, and we actually started back in 1909 as a hardware store in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. My great-great-grandfather, PC, the PC of PC Richard and Son, Peter Christian, came over to America from Holland. He came in through Ellis Island back in 1899, and he wanted to start the American dream. And he kind of came over and wasn't sure what he was going to do. And we always joke around now, like, in this day and age, it'd be like one of us saying, hey, we're going to go to Amsterdam and have no idea what we're going to do with
Right.
$1,000 in our pocket. He came over with 50 cents in his pocket and he had no idea what he was going to do. So we started doing some odd jobs. He was actually in Amsterdam. He was a bicycle repairman, so he was pretty handy. And he started doing odd jobs, whether it was delivering milk by horse and buggy through the cobblestone streets of Brooklyn. He was a grave digger at one point, but he was always very handy. And during his milk runs on the horse and buggy, he would have a lot of people asking him to fix things, whether it be a doorknob, a light switch, whatever it may be. But he was always handy and was able to fix those things where he had a lot of repeat customers starting, where he had to start building his inventory. And that's how it kind of happened. And, he started building his inventory up where he was able to open up a hardware store in Brooklyn. And that's kind of how we started. And then obviously from him, his son, the son of PC Richard and Son, AJ, my great-grandfather, always grew up in the business. The hardware store actually started in 1909 when AJ was born. And at a very young age was always involved in the business and never graduated high school, never went to college, just knew one thing that his father always taught him, and that was taking care of the customer. So, from PC, it went to AJ, and, AJ had another whole vision of the future of the company. And we really consider AJ the real entrepreneur that took the company to the next level and saw the vision once appliances and electric irons and radios and TVs started to get invented, that he saw the future of those products and really got involved in a big way in selling those products. So it kind of went from him and then to my grandfather, Gary Richard, who also had his whole nother vision of the company and expanding out on Long Island and Connecticut and New Jersey. And obviously from him, now it went to my dad, Greg Richard, the current president and CEO, and myself, now the fifth generation, being involved starting with the company when I was 16 years old. Doing a lot of different things, but doing stock in the stores, being a salesperson, assistant manager, working in the warehouse. So really understanding all different areas within the company, similar to my great-great-grandfather, my great-father, my grandfather, and now my dad all did while they started growing within the company. So it's a story. It's a long story.
It's a great story. It's a great American story, and the American dream really come true. Joe?
Absolutely. So I actually had the pleasure of having AJ. I wouldn't say train me, but he was in my life for a long time. He was in our training class. Amazing person. Like Scott said, after that, I got to work with Gary, his grandfather. Now getting to work with with Greg, for the past 10 years or whatnot, and now working closely with Scott. It's amazing to live through something like 4 generations. I mean, it's probably something that you could never ever start again. I'd say definitely not in this business.
Yeah.
They're amazing family, amazing company. A lot of what I do for all these different organizations is obviously, with the blessing of the Richard family. If my hands were tied and they weren't, and I wasn't able to do anything, and we wouldn't have any programs out there. But tremendous family, unbelievable company. And if you go around and you walked in our showrooms, or you came to any one of our events, you would really see, like, people that been there, it's 20 years, 25 years, 30 years, 40 years. I mean, we just celebrated like 10 people that were like, what, from 45 to 50 years?
Yeah, we had we celebrated our 115th birthday back in October. And while we were selling, we had 500 people there, but we had to have a cutoff because we have around 1,600 employees. So we would have loved to have everyone, but we couldn't. So our cutoff for invitation was like 30 years or longer.
Wow.
And we honored our 10 longest working employees, and all of them were over 40 years. But out of those 10, 3 were home delivery drivers that have been delivering for our company for over 40 years. So, yeah, I mean, just an amazing accomplishment for a lot of them to be doing that type of work just the labor of bringing refrigerators upstairs and carrying old stuff out was just amazing. We have amazing people working for our company.
So who's the longest person with your company, employee with your company? What is that, about 45 years?
It was about 45 years. Yeah.
That's
Hey, Joe?
Great.
What did you do before you went to PC Richards?
So I was doing stocks for a little bit of time, very short period of time. I didn't like it at all. And then I was...
You mean the stock market?
Yeah. But I didn't like it. I didn't like it. I was involved with a couple of, shops that really weren't doing the right thing, back then, Hank. And I didn't know any better. I'm just coming out of school, and I'm thinking this is all real, and this is like chop shops. I mean, one time I was, working, and literally, 15 federal agents come in. You got guys hanging out the window like you see in the movie. This shit really happened. And I'm like, what the hell in the world am I doing?
Like Ivan Boesky?
It was just not for me. And then they had me believe in this stuff. So I'm thinking, we're selling stuff that's real. It's not. And I'm like, I'm playing with people's livelihoods here, man. I can't do this. I couldn't even sleep. I'm like, I got to get out of this. I can't do this. And I was going to go into the car business. I love cars, still do. Tried that for a really, really short period of time. And then at the time, a friend of mine was talking to me about PC Richard and Son. And really didn't think about, going to sell at PC Richard. And I said, I don't know. It's like, I'm telling you, you're going to love it. You're going to like it. You can make a lot of money. I mean, even if you're, have no pulse, you're going to make probably $40,000. Now, you're going back 27, 28 years ago. So I gave it some thought. And I said, all right, you know what? I'll try it. I tried it, and I never thought I'd be here for 28 years. Definitely no regrets at all. I was a salesman. I started in Rockville Center. Grew up in Malvern my whole life. My parents were from Brooklyn. My brother and my sister were born there. I was born in Long Island, Malvern. So I started there. And I said, I always used to look at my manager, look at the district manager, and look at the boss coming in. I just said to myself, I want to be a boss. This is something I want to do, And obviously I'm fast forwarding a little, but I busted my butt, and little by little, just moved up the ladder, and I got transferred to Call Place. I was working as an MIT, they call it, manager in training. And I was working under Pete. He's actually still with the company. Great guy. And before you know it, it was just, getting more and more involved. And Pete would trust me a lot. Didn't even have, I didn't even have authorization to have, keys or anything, but he'd give me his keys because he just felt that comfortable. I never made him look bad or anything. And then there was just different tiers, like when you would get promoted then. I mean, I don't really know how it is now. It might still kind of be the same, but, you were like a third man, a second man, and then, a general manager. Some stores have 3 assistants and then a general manager, some of the bigger stores. So I kind of moved up really quick. And they offered me Bayside or Ozone Park at the time. 2 very, very, very busy stores. Probably top 6, both stores top 6 in the company. And I chose Bayside. I remember at the time, my direct boss is not with the company anymore. He really didn't have a lot of confidence. I saw it in his eyes, like he was really nervous. But my big boss, our vice president, Todd Costello, he believed in me, and he's like, he could definitely do it. So I went, and I was there as an AM. Say within like 2 years, I moved up to the top. I was a general manager. I was there for about 17 years. It was an awesome, awesome run. Great neighborhood. Met a lot of people, a lot of friends. I still go there. I mean, there's still so many friends and relationships I've made through there. And how I got to here is interesting. So I'm a volunteer firefighter.
Where are you a volunteer fireman?
So I originally was in Malvern.
Okay.
I became a fireman right after 9/11. After that horrific bombing and whatever we want to call that disaster on 9/11, I just said, I got to do something to give back. And I just said, I want to be a fireman. So I went to Malvern. I was there for 5 or 6 years, and I transferred because I moved. I'm in Long Island now, in the North Shore, so I'm in Glenwood Fire Department now. But anyway, when I did that, I started obviously hanging around a lot of firemen, a lot of cops, and before that, we'll back up. When I was working in Rockville Center, may he rest in peace, Bubba, who was my boss then, had a huge following with firefighters. He was a firefighter, and I would say, wow, man, look at all the customers this guy has. I want to do this. I used to write Christmas cards and write cards for my customers, and you'd be amazed about how much response you would get back from that. I mean, still to this day, I have customers that I dealt with, 28 years ago. So fast forward a little bit. I'm at an event, and with a bunch of firefighters. And the Richard family has been phenomenal, even before my time, given to first responders, cops, firemen, military. Always give them a discount, always get better than what the public gets, give them a great shopping experience. And I'm at this event, a lot of young guys, and they're shopping at a competitor. I'm not going to say their name. And I'm like, wow, what the heck is going on here? It was like a shot in the heart. I'm like, how is this happening? And I said, I got to get this message out somehow. I actually spoke to your dad about it. I pulled him aside. I'm like, Greg, a lot of people don't know about us right now. They don't know about the program. There's a lot of new hiring classes coming out, and this was cops too. Mm-hmm. A lot of that message just wasn't getting passed down. So through a lot of friends that I met and a lot of contacts, and I went through a lot of unions, and we I don't want to say created this program. The program was there, but we actually really took it to the next level, and it's been phenomenal.
Yeah.
And we've done so much more. The family doesn't advertise what they do. You know, they don't do it for the publicity. I mean, there's so much more than people really know about what they do. So we've got to have some awesome relationships with many organizations, and we've helped a lot of people. And it's like Scott said, you know, listen, it's just simple, man. Just take care of the customer. It's that simple.
Scott, I wanted to ask you, how did your family get involved with law enforcement? How long ago was that?
We've always been involved with law. I mean, as long as I can remember, even when I was working in the stores doing sales, when an officer or any first responder came in, it was second nature to just take care of them. You know, give them a good deal, give them great customer service. It's just, you know, my dad. None of us are military. We don't have a military or police background in my family. My mom's side of our family, we do. My grandfather was actually the captain of a nuclear submarine during World War II. But on the Richard side, we don't really have a military background. We just feel that it's the right thing to do. I mean, first responders, police, military, firefighters, I mean, they put their lives on the line each and every day. So for us to, you know, offer them some type of deal is the least we can do for the people protecting us and making sure have a safe living situation each and every day here that we are.
So, Scott, you have no relatives, fire department, police department?
No, not in our, no.
Yeah.
Well, I love the 10% discount you would give on 14th Street. I'd go there.
Yeah.
You had a newsletter. Do you still have that newsletter?
I think so, yeah.
Where
But now you just go talk to Joe. He'll give you a better deal than 10%.
Yeah,
But the 14th Street, the 14th Street store's not there anymore.
Yeah.
I have a good PC Richard story. That's just how great you guys are and how great Joe is as well. You know, during COVID, you couldn't get anything. You couldn't get a car, and if you did, you paid triple and double, triple and quadruple for to get a lease. Same thing with any appliances. And my refrigerator went, of course, during COVID, right? And so I'm happened to be talking to Mike Palladino, president of my union at the time, Detective Endowment Association, and Mike says, "Oh, reach out to Joe." I says, "Yeah." He says, "They're PC Richards." I says, "Well, I know they're great PC Richards, but who's the contact?" He said, "Joe Morrone." I said, "Fantastic." I reached out to Joe. I tell you, Joe was great. Everyone, his team was great. The service was great. The loyalty, the availability, it was just awesome. Professionalism. And I think within like a day or two, I had the refrigerator at my house. And at that time, you couldn't get anything. I mean, even if you're willing to pay double, triple, besides the fact you guys gave us a great discount, because that's what you do for first responders. But you guys don't get enough credit. PC Richards, I mean, you guys... great. You really are.
Well, we have to earn it, right? Just because we've been in business for 115 years doesn't mean we can sit down with our feet up on the table and expect customers are going to come into our stores. We have to continue to prove ourselves to the customers and making sure that they want to come in and shop with us again, especially all the different places that customers have the ability to go shop to now, and especially .com now.
Right.
We have to continue to earn that business and provide a great customer experience for our customers.
And you do earn it every day.
Yeah.
You do.
Well, I would think that the listeners to this program in law enforcement and the first responders should know about the discounts you give to these people. Not everybody knows.
Yeah.
So it's a great thing.
Yeah, I mean, anyone coming into our stores, whether you're in uniform or badges, obviously will 100% get taken care of. Every product is different. There's some stuff we can't discount based off of manufacturers' policies and this and that, but there is always some type of discount that we'll give to a customer. And if they don't have a relationship with Joe Morrone, we should give your cell phone number out on this podcast.
We'll post it.
And, I like Kevin's refrigerator story, Joe, because my refrigerator, I think, is on the fritz.
It's on the way out.
There you go.
We'll take care of
Everyone's
it.
going to call you now, Joe.
We'll
Hey,
take
you get
care
a
of it.
refrigerator.
Back to that story, though, also is the owners were very adamant about first responders getting the appliances because obviously you guys were on the front line, right? So fridges and freezers and anything that was, very essential, you guys were priority. because what good is it, right? You don't have a fridge, you can't get out there, right? And when it first came out, it was so bad that when I reached out to the unions, food, like these police officers couldn't get food. Fire, I have to say, like when I reached out to the unions, they were great. They're like, listen, they have their kitchens, or we're good. But you guys, we went into real tough neighborhoods where there was like no diners, no anything. The unions picked the spot, and we did I think 1,100 wraps, 1,100 heroes, whatever it was, and we fed all these cops that were out in the street that couldn't get food.
I remember that. That's right.
Yeah.
They did. But also, besides the discount you guys give to first responders, I mean, Joe, especially you've been involved in every, police union gathering, supporting the widows and children, whether it be food or appliances or, in donations.
Right.
The RDNY, I'm involved with the Retired Detective of New York organization. Actually, when I was the president in 2021 and 22, we honored Todd Costello.
Yep.
And so anyway, but you guys always give, whether it's a television you're donating or whatever, for fundraisers, which goes a long way, especially today.
It does. And you know what? Listen, you have to be in it to win it, right? So we talk about this all the time with Scott and Greg, and anyone could probably give something, especially a big national company, right? What's a little TV, or what's a vacuum, or a drill, right? But if that person's not there representing, and you're not showing up, there's no relationship, right? It's just a box on the table, and all right, this person gave it to me. So it's really where you create the relationships, right? And the first responders, cops especially, they appreciate it. You're there in good times, you're there in bad times. I think that's how we really have gotten such great relationships. When you're saying that, all these other events that we're involved with, we're there, we're living it, we're breathing it, in good times and bad times.
Oh, yeah.
We could have a golf out and have a great time, but someone gets stabbed or gets shot and killed.
Right.
We're there too.
No, it's always about the cause.
Scott, do you contribute to any charitable organizations related to law enforcement?
Yeah, we do a lot of stuff. Law enforcement, even military, and we do a lot of good stuff with the Veterans Home out on Long Island. We partner with the Michael P. Murphy Museum, the Navy SEAL Museum out on Long Island. We've created a great relationship with Dan Murphy, who was Murphy's father. So there's a ton of stuff that we're always involved in, and like Joe said, Joe was out at dinner almost 3 times a week at a lot of different PBA events, and he knows all the events he goes to, and I only go to a fraction of what he goes to, and he's always asking me to come, and I try and go as much as I can, but sometimes work gets in the way. But he's been doing an amazing job building the relationships with all these different organizations, and it's definitely showing. And I go to dinner with him, and the people coming up, and I'm like, how the heck do you know all these people? And then he'll show me his stack of PBA cards he has. I'm like, oh man. If you get in trouble, you could just call Joe and he'll get you.
Shows you what a discount can do.
Yeah,
Exactly. That's awesome.
Great.
Awesome stuff.
So you contribute to more than law enforcement. You do the military and others.
Yeah. Even like school programs, we do a lot of stuff, and it's just our part of giving back. Being a family-owned and operated company here on Long Island, a lot of these organizations are in our backyard, and we just feel it's our part that we can do to make our communities better, that we serve our customers each and every day. And yeah, we don't talk about it a lot. Maybe we should a little. I feel like customers like to hear where the retailer that they're buying from and what they do for the community, but we don't want people to think, oh, we're bragging and this and that. We just feel it's the right thing to do, and we don't really talk about it a lot, but we are a little bit more than we usually do.
Rightfully so. You've been doing it for many, many years, and you do a great job at it.
Thank you.
And unfortunately, there's not more corporations like yourself that give. There's many that do give, here and then, and
Absolutely.
just like yourself, you guys they don't talk about it as well. But there's so many more that can contribute, and they don't. I don't know why they just don't, and they can.
And it's sad too, like getting on that. You're saying like a lot of companies could do things, but it's also really sad that cops and firemen, military, us, and some other companies like veterans, right? Very sad.
I know.
How are these veterans in the street? How are these veterans homeless?
Yeah.
And they're relying on companies like us to go out there and help them keep warm and give them a pillow or give them something to eat. It's just nuts. I mean, that's probably a topic for a different day, but it's just mind-boggling.
Yeah, I mean, we have to take care of our own first. Right here in the U.S. of A.
And back to like what Scott was saying about Lieutenant Michael Murphy, that museum. If you guys haven't been out there, it's in Sayville. Absolutely go out there. It's amazing. There's only 2 in the United States. One's in Florida, one's in Sayville.
Oh, really?
And your hairs will definitely stand up on your body when you go there. It's amazing.
Where in Florida, do you know?
I don't know where in Florida.
Okay.
I don't know. But they have some unbelievable stuff there.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you ever read the book or watched the movie Lone Survivor, but
Yes.
that's
Yes.
that's what it's in. That's about Lieutenant Michael Murphy.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Scott, how many stores do you have in New York City?
In the city, we have four locations. Total company wide, we have 64 store locations throughout New York, Connecticut, New Jersey, and 1 store down in Northeast Philly.
So you have only 4 in New York City?
Yeah.
I think you have a lot more.
We would, but the real estate there is pretty expensive. It's not
where are
too
they in the
cheap.
city, Scott?
We have 2 up on. We actually have 1 up in Harlem, 2 on 84th Street, and then 1 down in Chelsea.
2 on 84th Street?
1 on East Side, 1 on West Side.
84th?
Yep.
And you said the other one's in Chelsea?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
Whereabouts? 23rd Street?
Yeah, like 23rd Street.
Okay. Okay.
Well, that's closer to me.
Yeah.
They need to put one down in your neighborhood.
Well, I had 14th Street. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. Get another one.
Well, I would think that, with the size of the New York City Police Department, you would have a lot more stores to cater to.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point, and that's why we're looking actually behind the scenes. Obviously, .com and our website is growing each and every day, and just with the ease of shopping, and we've been talking a lot about what we can do to make things easier for shopping and obviously still give those great discounts that we do for first responders. So we are looking at adding stuff to the internet where you can log in and get verified with your ID or whatever it may be, and then you would be eligible to get those same types of discounts in store without actually having to go to a store.
Something like Amazon.
Yeah, a little bit, but yeah, it's called like Verify. It's
like a Verify
program.
Me, ID Me. I've
ID
used
Me,
it before. Like I know Under Armour. I think 511. What's the other one there? Vineyard Vine has it. Once you get verified that you're a first responder, you're entitled to this discount.
Right.
Yeah.
So it works really good. And
then you could go to pcrichard.com and then sign into this Verify. That verifies your account, and then you get eligible for the
Well,
discounts.
that's a great
right from
idea
our
because
website.
many, I don't know how many, but a large number of New York City cops live out of the city. They
Exactly.
live upstate and the surrounding counties. So
Yeah.
a program like that would be great.
Yeah.
They don't have to visit a store. They can order online.
Yeah, it's in the works. It's we've been talking about it long enough, but it's actually finally in the
I
works.
say do it.
Yeah, me too.
You know what our top 2 cop stores are? You guys had to take a guess.
2 top
2
stores?
top stores for Copland. One's in Long Island. One's in the boroughs. I'll
Okay,
give
the
you
one in
that-
the borough, I'm
I'll
going to
give you that
say.
hint.
The one in the borough, Manhattan, uptown?
Nope.
No.
What do you think?
Queens? No. I'm lost there.
Staten Island.
Staten Island.
Staten Island. Where about?
We are on.
Island Boulevard,
Yeah. Yeah.
somewhere.
Well, you know, a large
Richmond.
number of
Richmond.
a large number of law
A
enforcement,
lot of law enforcement there.
first response, firemen, police,
Oh,
Yep.
yeah.
live in
Oh, yeah.
Staten Island.
And the one in Long Island. Take a guess.
Well,
What do you think?
Well, I hope they're listening, because if they do, they will find out that there's a PC Richard store near them.
Yep.
Long Island. Long Island.
Nassau County. I'll give you another hint.
There one in Massapequa, near Massapequa.
Ah, see? You're close. You're good. Belmore.
Belma, okay. Yeah.
Huge.
A lot of guys and girls
Huge.
out there. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. We need one in Long Beach.
Yeah, I know. Oceanside is the closest.
Exactly. Oceanside, Island Park. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Cap?
Well, I think that we've had a great session with these two gentlemen. I hope they raise their discount level higher. So you can,
Just call Joe.
so, call Joe. All right, Joe. Are you going to give out your number? Or you
No, I get enough calls. The email's out there. All the unions have them. They know how to get a hold of me.
And it's great to have you here. And now we know why the cops love you and you love the cops.
I'll give my email, though. It's joe.morrone@pcrichard.com. No S. pcrichard.com. So I'll say it again. joe.morrone@pcrichard.com.
Right about now, you're getting about 100. Absolutely. I'm surprised nobody's calling in. No, you guys are great. Anything you guys want to discuss? Maybe anything I left out, or you like to something you like to promote, or
Final word.
besides, I know you have a holiday season now. You have a lot of sales
I'd like
going
to
on.
say something. We sell mattresses now. All right.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people know, but a lot of people don't know. And it'd be our pleasure to help you out. I mean,
All the stores sell the
all the
mattresses?
stores.
So you have a
Every-
location with some mattresses
what
set
are
up,
we
yeah?
about 10, what are we, about 10 now? 10
For
years?
what?
How long?
Oh, yeah, we've been selling mattresses for a little over 10 years now.
10 years,
Oh, wow.
but it's amazing is that you, as much as you talk about it, you still get that like, wow, oh, you guys sell like people still coming into the stores and they're looking, they're like, you sell mattresses? Like, where were you for 10 years? You know, but we're growing, we're doing great. But that's something I definitely want to put out there. And we've done a lot of great things with the mattresses too, whether it's, with hospitals and police departments and, fire departments and, a lot of really, really good stuff. We're doing some hotels right now. So that's something I wanted to share.
Yeah, I mean, we
Oh,
sell the
nice.
top brands, whether it's Sealy, Stearns & Foster, Tempur-Pedic, some bed in the box with Nectar. But yeah, we started 11 years ago. It's a long story. I don't know if we have time.
Go right ahead.
Not too long of a story, but we're part of a buying group called NADM.
Have the time.
We're part of a buying group called NADM, which is just similar retailers throughout the country, smaller independent retailers, and we're part of a buying group. And there was a company called Cons who was out, is a company from out west, and we had a great relationship with their president and CEO. And, we've been thinking about mattresses, and Cons was already selling mattresses. And, him and my dad were talking and having discussions if we should, if we shouldn't. And finally, David was who the president of Cons was, convinced my dad to get into mattresses. And, my dad told us, kind of put me in charge of figuring out the next steps along with one of our other senior buyers who has now since retired. But we tested it in Connecticut, right? Our plan was like, let's feel this out. Connecticut is a different market. We can kind of do our own marketing there without affecting anything else we have going on here, and see if this thing's going to work before we just go all out and put it in 64 locations. And within a month of opening our first store in Connecticut, my dad was open every effing store you can right away, because we just saw great results. And, we realized that customers wanted to buy that stuff from us. So yeah, I mean, 10 years, I can't believe it's been
Wow. That's
really
great.
good for the company, especially when a lot of these other categories we were buying and selling are just going away because it's all on your cell phone, right? Whether it's cameras, camcorders, MP3 players, even to an extent computers and whatnot. Everyone just has their phone now that does all this stuff that has really taken away a lot of our older categories that were really good for us. So this has definitely helped replace some of that lost business.
That's great. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Good stuff.
And before we go, I was actually talking to John. You know John Wighouse?
John?
John Wighouse, Wiggy from Nassau. He used to be the detective president.
Oh, I know he is. Yeah.
So
Yep,
now
yep.
he's starting up well, he's not starting it up. It's there. He's taking over for the retired detectives. I was talking to the other day, and I said, you got to reach out to the RDNY. I'm like, you got,
Oh, yeah.
for retired, you guys are phenomenal.
Yeah.
You guys are everywhere.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, well, they're huge. I said, but
Yeah.
still, listen, reach out to them.
It'd be great,
And,
yeah.
And but I just wanted to tell all the unions in New York, police, fire, that you guys are all awesome. I definitely would not want to work in any other state. You guys are phenomenal. There's not one bad union, and we're from Montauk to Manhattan, Jersey, Connecticut, and I really do mean that sincerely. Once again, thanks Scott, the whole Richard family for allowing us to do what we do. Todd, my boss, I don't know if you're listening or not, but thank you. He actually had a vision in me. Todd Costello, who you know.
Yeah, sure.
And he believed in me, and here I am. So I just wanted to say thank you to all you guys.
Well, we thank you as well. First of all, for being here today, because I know you guys are busy, especially now you're busy with the holiday season. But again, Scott, Richard, from the Scott family, from the Richard family, PC Richard and Sons. I mean, you guys have been great as long as I can remember, even as a kid before I was a cop. You guys do God's work. It's great, and we appreciate everything you do. We really do. And I'm sure every time, Joe, you run into someone, they tell you the same thing. We really do appreciate you and active and retirees throughout the country, really.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not only in New York. And because a lot of our guys go down to Florida. They're probably looking for PC Richards down in Florida. By the way.
You know how many
You know what I
calls
mean?
I got
Yeah,
with that? Oh,
I'm sure, especially down there. There's so many people down there from NYPD and law
Carolina
enforcement.
now.
Carolina now they're going to since the
And after
hurricanes
this
are coming.
podcast, your email is going to burn up.
Yeah. Don't believe me. We're going to post that. That'll be good. But at this time, I'd like to thank Joe Morrone. You've been great. Great relationship with you for many years. And Scott Richard, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank the Richard family, PC Richard and Sons. Everyone, Christmas is around the corner. You need your appliances, PC Richard and Son. Believe me, not only do they have good appliances, they also back up what they sell. That's another thing. You guys really back up everything. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
So, Captain?
Well, again, as I said, it's been a great interview, and you love the cops love you. And I hope the listeners pay attention to Joe's email. And you may have to get a second email.
Yeah. So I'd like to thank everyone for listening to another episode of Cop Talk. If you like what you hear, you can subscribe to Cop Talk. You could also follow us on X, formerly of Twitter, now it's X, at Cop Talk WABC. That's at Cop Talk WABC. Until next time, God bless you, God bless America, and God bless law enforcement throughout the world.
And as
Thank you.
Kevin always forgets, YouTube. You're on YouTube.
I was waiting for that. I always forget. That's why I'm only a detective and he's the
He
captain.
doesn't
I always
forget anymore. He deliberately does it now.
Till next time, be safe. Thank you for coming.